Hello, friends. It's me, Cynthia here, and Marty Balbun, my little studio companion. And Azalea is with us. She's behind the camera, and our friend Alexandra. Don't mind that ice machine. That's Azalea making us some mocktails. So let's see. Hello, my friends. We have Morphing Designs, La Vie Boheme. Hello, hello, friends. We are streaming from Asheville, North Carolina, and it is a perfect day in the mountains. Such a good day. We had a really fun, kind of a relaxing week, hunting gemstones down, getting things ready for today. We kind of a surprise. I was gonna do, and I'm going to do. I don't not was. I am. I'm gonna show y'all how to do some. This is some liver of sulfur from my friend Joanne. She dropped this off, and we're gonna do some a little bit of patinaing. Oh, hello, Xandra. Hello, Karen. Oh, happy birthday, 68. Perfect. It's good. It's a good year, right? All right, my friends. Let's see. What am I doing? We're going to give it a few minutes to let people come in. Hello, Helene. Hello, hello. Azalea, don't forget Marty's his treat. He's looking around. He doesn't seem like he's concerned. He's tired. So anyway, I don't know how fresh this is. Liver of sulfur has a shelf life, and I've found it is not super long, maybe a few months, maybe longer. But if you put it in a Ziploc container, I don't know how this was stored, but usually it comes in a can, like a little metal can. It smells like brimstone. It's a very, thank you, honey. Azalea made us some mocktails with kombucha. What all's in this one, daughter?
Um, some sort of strawberry soda.
Oh.
And then strawberry kombucha.
All right. Thank you, honey. Can you boil me some water? That is one of the things you'll need to do the liver of sulfur. Now, just on the tap kettle and get me one of those old yogurt containers so I can make the potion. So I want to make a tea with this liver of sulfur rocks, and we're going to dissolve it in hot and boiling. We use boiling. You can use. There's a bunch of different ideas about liver of sulfur, and some folks will say, "Oh, you put as many of them rocks in there, that like 5 rocks. These are the rocks. I don't know if you can see that. They're kind of like it's like gravel. It smells horrendous. It might run Marty off, but we're going to do it outside. But again, sometimes it's not easy to do a Bluetooth connection with our phones. Sometimes it doesn't work. Here, honey, there's a snack for the baby. It's like the bribing system to keep him hanging out. And he'll sit here. He knows what day our lives go because he'll come jump up and get ready. It's his way. I was telling Azalea I didn't have any caffeine until like, I don't know, 4 o'clock maybe. I'm a little on. And I've been cutting back on it, so it's interesting. Oh, hello, Nilda. Nilda says, hello, Cynthia and Azalea. All right, my friends, let's see what we're doing here. It's about 3 minutes in. I usually like to go 5 or 7 minutes just to give folks a chance to join us. I will say I have a lucky dip plan for afters. And the reason I'm doing that, because on Sunday we did a necklace featuring the mini lucky dip and some of the beads from the medium. So it's like, I don't know, about half, maybe. This one is one I made for Azalea, and it's one I started on Sunday. I do not have the clasp as expected. That clasp did not make it on there, partly because I haven't carved it yet. I want to recarve a clasp for that's more petite and not so heavy duty. I'm going to show this again when it's flat, but this one I made. When you're making one, you might as well make another one, right? While you got the beads out. So I'm going to flip that camera here in a minute or so. Oh, hello, June, my friend. June says, hi, Cynthia, Azalea, and Marty. Hello, Michelle. Hello, hello, friends. Yes, had a busy day today. Ran around, went to Trader Joe's. Like, we went around 4 o'clock like a bunch of newbies. Me and Alexander were like, why is this parking lot made for 5 people? As I was going to sneak up on this cat.
He turned right around and looked at me.
He didn't want it. He didn't want that loving. All right. So what I'm going to do now, Azalea's heating up some water. And while we're waiting for that, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this camera around. And I think what we'll do is we'll get into this dip, the lucky dip, I call it. And it's called that because there's a variety, a myriad, a smorgasbord. What's another word for that?
Cornucopia.
A cornucopia, that's a good one. What's another good one? A salamagundi. There's an old cave. I'm bringing the ones from Victorian times. You might recognize that one from the Walt Whitman chocolates if you're around in the 80s. That's what that's from. I'm going to flip this. I don't know how long we'll have Azalea's phone. Is that right, daughter? That you're not sure how long that phone will last?
Oh no, I was saying that there might be a phone call that might interrupt us.
Oh my. Is it someone special, little daughter?
Yeah.
Azalea has a boyfriend.
Stop.
Let's just say that. I'm not trying to embarrass her. Azalea has a boyfriend.
Thanks.
If you guys could see right now, her cheeks are a delicate pink.
I hear that water has boiled.
So let's go. Let me talk about this. So I make jewelry, right? Y'all probably know this. I am a jewelry maker. And here's some of my stuff. I'm gonna bring that camera down a little bit lower.
Water has boiled. Here's the cup.
This is really, you guys are gonna prepare yourselves. This is really high tech. Oh, we're gonna do it right now. Okay.
You asked me to boil the water right now.
Oh, I didn't realize it boiled this fast. All right, we're gonna do it now then. All right, we'll move.
It's super hot.
All right, I've got boiling water, and I'll try to explain. I'm gonna try and stay in one lane. Paper towel, dear, and a thing of clean cold water. Cold is good.
Get Marty's tongue.
All right, so check this out. I made these earrings. I'm gonna bring this a little lower. It's really high tech, y'all. Prepare yourselves. Okay, so these earrings I made a few weeks ago. Let me check this and make sure that it is. Where's my focus? All right, there we go. We don't need it focusing on whatever it was focusing on, the floor, the table. Okay, so I made these. This was from another project, that Lucky Dip. I'm going to get a little bit closer even. You can go close. Is that in focus? Looks like it's in focus. So do this outside. Don't be like me, doing this at the kitchen table. You don't want to copy this action in your house, or at least put a fan on. So I made these with that Lucky Dip I was just talking about. Now I added several strands to it. Like, I'm constantly adding to it. Constantly, because when I'm making jewelry, whenever I do it, this is what my palette looks like. And I call my tray my palette. So it looks like this. And so you'll see there are piles of beads like that. And what ends up happening is I scoop them up with my tool like this, and I put them in things like this. And I have these all over my studio. They're all different types of beads in them. And we'll get to that in a moment. But while I have this hot water, I'm going to show you. So this was done the other day. What day was that? Sunday when I made your necklace? Now, this was the mixed chain project that we did where we wire wrapped between and did all kinds of little mixed chain. Didn't it come out pretty? So some of us are already black, as you can see. A little bit more. This is the whole thing. I think it looks really good. But it doesn't look, it's like kind of like a patchwork quilt because you have two different colors of metal through here. Right? So here's a necklace. I need to put this in here. Since this is kind of old liver sulfur, I think it's at least been sitting for like 3 months maybe. So I'm not sure the potency of it. We'll do the size of rock. You want to do, I don't know how potent it is, so I'm going to go big pieces. We'll see how it goes. It might not do much because the fresher it is, the more powerful. There are a few other patinas that you can get. There's Black Max, that's just for that silver type of metals. This was patinaed with Black Max. And this is another type of chain that you could make with this type of Lucky Dip. I call it Lucky Dip because there's a big smorgasbord of stones, and we scoop them in little containers like this. Or there's several containers. But what I usually do is I charge $5 per grain. Shut that. There's all these like sound effects that are getting on my. It's like competing with my attention. It's like you hear that bird.
Did it squeak so bad?
Oh, I hate that sound of that. There's a bird that just makes the most horrible noise. Usually I would say listen to the lovely bird song, but in that case, I don't know. Maybe it's a Carolina wren. I don't know what it is, but it's got a squawk on it that I don't love the sound. All right, so there's another one of those earrings. So if you use, this is just my way, I put them in boiling water. I'm giving them a minute to dissolve. And I have some cold water. The cold water will stop the action, but what you want to do is use something to really stop it because it's considered, it will keep on going sometimes. So you want to wash them after the fact. Even though I'm going to rinse them, you want to wash it and stop the process because some of it might get in the stones. But what I'm going to do now is find a brush because I have on here some stones, some pearls that I don't want to get messed up. You pass me a super cheap brush from over there? One that's like really chewed up. Okay, we'll give it a second.
You don't usually keep around some chewed up. Right? This one's chewed up, but this is like stuck together. I don't know if that's what you want.
Yeah, it's good. We'll just use the end of it. And I'm going to try and break some of it up. Usually it turns a really bright yellow, so this must be kind of old. It might not be. I used the one I had before. I didn't test this one. I thought, hey, even the oldest liver of sulfur works, but we'll see if it does. If it doesn't, then that'll be the lesson for the day is watch how you store your liver of sulfur and maybe only buy it in small amounts if you're not going to use it right away. So let's try these earrings. I'm going to hang on to them by one side. Now take a look at them. Where's that autofocus? I might just do autofocus wherever. What is this one?
Just click on the screen where you want it to focus.
I know.
And that'll be better than autofocus because autofocus keeps choosing the table.
Oh, does it keep choosing? That time it didn't. We'll see. All right, so take a look at them. They're bright silver, and hopefully if this works good. Now, the liver of sulfur is not going to work on certain metals. Like it doesn't work on gold. Now, if it's really potent, like it's fresh out of the container, it'll go black like, or it'll turn colors really fast. So this is actually still really, really hot. So also be careful. You don't want to put something that's like really hot with things like opal or sunstone or pearls or something. We're going to do a different method with that. And I'm going to show that right here. And look at this delicious, look at this one on here. Isn't that pretty? Now, I don't want to ruin that. So I'm not going to throw that in there because I like it the way it is. Oh, hello, Anne. Our friend Anne Gardan is joining us. Hello, Cecilia. All right, so I'm going to lay this here. I kind of left that alone. It's not really doing much, but Let's get it in there. Swirl it around. Maybe it needs a little bit longer. Sometimes you can leave them in there, but I tend to forget about them if I do that. I throw the other one in.
There's a big old chunk still in there of the liver sulfur.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk. Sometimes it goes like this is kind of old liver of sulfur, and there's also the liver of sulfur that comes in a. It's already what you call it, dissolved. Yeah, this might be just sometimes you just have to work with what you have, and liver of sulfur is one of those chemicals that sometimes I don't want to use it just because it's just another thing to store and take care of in the house. As far as now, I can smell it. Using this was liver of sulfur. I brought this out. Oh, maybe. Look, Morphing Design says, I got my lucky dip of Beautiful Dreamer on Monday. It definitely is dreamy. Is there any way you can repost the beads that are in each lucky dip? Please. Well, I will tell you that I've been thinking of a way to do that because I've had more than one person ask me. But
the listing should have the
listing,
description of all the beads in it.
I know, but what she's asking is if I can do it where they can see a picture of the bead. The only thing is there's a variety in each thing, that they're not all the same. For example,
well, yeah, that's the beauty of the lucky dip is not everybody's going to get the same beads.
Not even close. But here's another thing. Once I cut it, so this is a strand of black opal, right? So if I took a picture of this being the black opal and you got this one, you'd be like, wait, that's not black opal. Or what if it's this one? You see what I mean? There's a lot of variation. This is a kind of the light. Let me see, there's light on, but it's kind of hard. Let me see if I can get that. Oh, the listings are gone. You see that, Azalea? If it's sold out, I guess. It's sold out.
Might be.
I'll think of a way to do it. Let me, you guys, if you got suggestions, drop them in the comment of how we can do it in a way that doesn't require a ton of work on my end. Because the more work and more hours I got to spend on it, the less money I make on it, and the less likely I am to do it. That's just being real. Sorry, it's too real. All right, so these are black opals, but you can see they're a little bit different. Not all of them are the same. Oh, hello, Robin. But we'll try to come up with something, Oh, Gumnut Lane says, I find the LOS gel the best. I have some of that, but I couldn't find it. I knew it was somewhere in my studio, but I tore it up yesterday looking, and I couldn't find it. And Joanne was like, I have some, but I don't know how fresh it is, so that's this. Oh, and of course I did forget. I was correct. I did forget. But really fresh liver of sulfur, this will go black in moments. So one thing you can do is just dip it and see how it turns that kind of a like, I don't know if you can see this. I hate to touch it. Let me explain.
Can't you rinse it now?
I could, but I don't want to yet. What I'm doing now is I'm letting the atmosphere give it a little bit of coloration. I'm going to let that one back in because it wasn't out there. So the longer, I haven't rinsed this yet, so the oxidation is happening right now. And so when you do liver of sulfur on it, you can get this beautiful, like see some of it is dark on the insides and it will have a different kind of coloration. I think it's really pretty. It's not for everything, but the things that it looks good with, I feel like is like something very delicate and lacy. And this is definitely a project that I do with my small beads. And you might be wondering, what the heck do you do with teeny tiny beads? Well, this is what I do with them. I make earrings like this, and I sell them at markets and things. So when you add the black to it, you can see it gives it a little bit of a different effect, a little bit different. So I like that. I don't know if you can see if the camera is picking that up, but there's a little bit of iridescence in there. I don't know if you can see that, but this is working just fine. This is about the quality of liver of sulfur you would get if you did the egg method, which is to take a plate, a clear bowl, and set those eggs in that bowl with your liver of sulfur, or the gems, and you put a bowl on top and seal it. And the longer you leave it in there, obviously the funkier it's going to be. But aside from that, you'll get this kind of light sort of, let's see if I can get that to show it. You see that kind of, on the white it really shows up. So this one hasn't been rinsed yet. All right, so one thing we can do, so this is cold water now. That's going to stop the action. And another thing that it's going to do is it can thermal crack your beads. So what you don't want to do is have boiling hot water. This is already now, it's like hot tea level. I knew none of the beads on this would be susceptible to thermal shock. So I just went ahead and tossed them in this, and I let it cool. If you remember, they were not hot, and then thrown in here. You don't want to do that if you have something that is fragile. And something that's fragile is like this guy. That's a fragile bead. It's beautiful, but it's like a butterfly. You don't want to go in there with your combat boots on and then just, willy-nilly. You want to go in with intention. All right, so I'm going to paint this on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it sit here. The reason I'm doing that is that I don't want these guys to soak in the liver of sulfur because I'm not sure what the outcome will be. Can you give me another brush? This one is like, it's so chewed up that I don't know how I'm going to live with it. So what I'm going to do here is drip this on just gently on some of these that are showing. I am not. Give that a stir. Usually this turns a bright yellow. The gel.
Dingy old toothbrushes.
No, I need something to paint. I need something detailed. Oh wait, I got my brushes over here. I just got some. Oh my God. That was almost. You didn't see any brushes?
Well, there's like good ones over here. How about this? This one's a little chewed up, but it's smaller.
Perfect. That's what I'm talking about. You don't want to go in with your good brushes. That can just go directly in the trash. All right, so I'm going to paint that on, and that will avoid the trauma of messing up your gemstones, especially like opals. I'm scared to just dunk them right in. Now, it might give it a more patchy look if you're not careful. I can see it already turning some of these, but I'm pretty excited. This is one for Azalea. This necklace is for her birthday. She turned 21. Little daughter. She could go to a cultivated cocktail that's at the bottom of the hill and get a cocktail. Let me see. Now this might seem a little on the tedious side because it is, but there's another way too. So, and I've done this one. You can coat the beads that you want to keep them from turning with like masking tape or something like that if they're bigger beads, and that can do the job, so it's not like you're not doing this. This doesn't take that long. This is only a few minutes, I feel like. And if you pre-wash, which I didn't do, sometimes the grease on your fingers when you're working will inhibit the patina effect. So I would say give it a wash. I didn't do that with this. And so you can see some places it's resisting the patina. But all you have to do in that case is just kind of scrub the brush over it and you let it sit a minute. And the sitting, it's being set in front of like, it's oxidizing. Get in there. It'll look so much better. And I want to make sure I get it. But you know what? If I don't get it, then it's not a hard process to dunk it or to go back in and get some fresh liver of sulfur if I want to order it. But like I said, I order it. When I do order it, it's in, like Gumnut was saying, the gel is where it's at. And I've gotten that from Rio Grande, or you can get it online. Different places will have it. I'm just running through and making sure each link is fairly saturated, and we'll let it sit aside for a minute. Yeah, and I don't think it's great for more organic type beads like amber. I feel like it's not good for amber, the acids and things. Now, when you're getting rid of it, it's been a long time since I've used this material, and I feel like before, when I was getting rid of it, I'd wait till it's room temperature and I put in some baking soda before I dumped it out someplace that's not like in my garden. I don't remember. I'd have to, usually I look it up and figure out each time before I get rid of the, I have on occasion put a cap on it and reused it, but then it's a really weak solution. Let's let that sit and take a look at the other ones that are in here. I'm going to let this sit. Now, let's take a look. I'll wash these a little bit better so that I am certain you get all the liver of sulfur. You don't want any traces of it left. You want to make sure you wash it good with Dawn dish soap or something. All right. How's that look? I think it looks good. I don't know. It doesn't have, to me, I don't need it for I like it better with this sort of rainbowy iridescence. I feel like it goes well with the stones. The longer, now if you had like glass beads or something like that, you could just go directly in here. Now this one looks like it tinted or it patinaed a little darker. So if that's the case, see how this one's a little bit darker than this one? If I like this more, I can just throw this one back in. And hopefully I don't forget about it, you know. Dip, dip, dip. It looks like it's going a little faster now. Like I feel like I saw that one turn. Sometimes I'll blow on them to get some of the oxidation happening, and it feels like it gets a little bit of that rainbow. And then it's still not that hot. I'll let it sit here for a minute. I don't want to throw it directly. I want to throw it directly in there. So this is tinting at a much slower rate. You can see how underneath it there's a little of that yellowing. But if you can, like, there's a little bit of that happening already. Some of the patina is starting to happen, but it's happening very slowly. It looks pretty good. I'm adding a little more. Sometimes it helps to give it another dabbing. Obviously, the fastest way is to just go dip it in there. That's it. What else do I have? You know what? Sometimes I will get a bunch of things together, ready to go. Let me see, what else do I have? Look at this chain. This chain is so pretty. We'll do this whole thing of chain. We'll just dump it in there. See what happens. Love that story. What else do I have? It's kind of fun to do that. A little bit addictive. This was another necklace that features large and small. So you can see these are some rounds of labradorite. I did not put this as many. Azalea was always telling me I'm too labradorite heavy. So in this latest dip, it is less labradorite heavy. But this is some of the use. Like you can go in and use, on this one, it looks like it's 26 gauge you can use, but they have a little bit bigger hole. And then look here, see if you can see that. This is a bead from my friend Ann Choi. Y'all know Ann Choi? If you don't, I highly recommend going over to, I think it's annchoi.com. And it's CHOI. We've been good friends for at least 25 years now, and I collect her beads like it's my job. I love them. These are hollow, by the way. I don't know if you can hear that, but they're really magical. Oh, right. Anne says, this is a good one. Anne says, I think I remember with the jewelry class, you're not supposed to dump liver of sulfur down the same drain that you dump pickle. The combination makes sulfuric acid. Please, if anyone's more educated in this, don't hesitate to correct me. You know, Anne, I will dump this. Sometimes it's going to sound terrible, but I have on occasion just put a lid on it and then let it get kind of flat, and then I dump it like in some, like at the end of my driveway or something that works. I mean, I'm only making like this much of it. I'm too scared to dump it in my drains, but usually, I don't know. I kind of figure, I mean, it's liver of sulfur. It's kind of a natural product. It's not like it's a bleach or something. So anyway, this is taking its sweet time to tint, but you can see that it's a subtle, like right there, it's going a little gold, but we'll let it sit there a minute. Oh, I forgot about that chain. Let's see what's happening with it. Nothing, it looks like. Usually this is usually a brilliant acid yellow. So this is kind of, the liver of sulfur has, I shouldn't splash that. Did it get Marty's thing? I'm going to let it keep sitting. Hopefully I didn't make that into a big chain pile. All right, that's pretty fun. Let's do something else now. Let's do something else. The smell, it's not super strong, but I don't love it. And I'm going to wash these in some Dawn dish soap. Let's see if I have something white to put that on to show it. Oh, a new one. There you go, another one. Thank you. So you can get a good look at how these earrings came out. Now, I sell these earrings at different markets. I usually sell them from, depends on how many stones and what stones there are on there, but around 40-ish. Depends on what else on there. And these are from the Lucky Dips. So I have on here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is under 12 beads to make these earrings. And once they're dry, they kind of have a lacy kind of quality. I had them and I was wearing them as just pure silver, but I like the way liver of sulfur looks on them. I think it gives it a more polished kind of look. That looks really pretty. Morphing Design says, glad it's not smell-o-vision. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, Anne says, either the liver of sulfur is too old or there's some sort of coating on the chain. And you know, sometimes it's on your fingers too. So I might have to go back in. I can see this one this might have the coating, but it's faintly turning a little bit. You can see how it's going a little bit. So there might be a little bit of the coating on there. Let's see how this is going. And that's, you see it's gone a little darker. Oh, hello, Sandy. Sandy, my friend. All right. Maybe a little darker, but I could leave it like this. I could put it where it's on the side and let it do its thing in a little pile so I can kind of keep an eye on it. And I already like that color better than the bright silver. I'll do the other one while I've got it here. Do this little piece. And you'll notice I didn't do it all at the same time because that is a recipe for disaster. See, I was tempted just now to put that in there. Don't do it because you know what happens? You probably already know. It becomes a little bit of a nightmare. What I put in here. Let me get it. You see how that chain is going. Where is it? Here it is. Oh, I thought it was the chain. I was looking at it from the side. It's actually a piece of the liver of sulfur. Did I actually put anything in there? I thought I did. Here it is. So this one, we'll let this one come out. And we'll let it sit next to it. And that's turning a nice kind of golden type champagne color. Morphing Design says, many times I find an oil to prevent, slow down tarnishing when coming from production. Yeah, sometimes the oil from your fingers can make it where things will tarnish at a slower rate, I feel like. If you touch it, sometimes you can get that. I'm so tempted to throw that in there, but I don't want that one to get messed up. Let's see. I have more. And if you leave it, it will slowly tarnish. And the tarnishing is what we're after, that rainbowy color of the liver of sulfur. Now, some folks would say, oh, just go throw it in there. Depending on the stones, you can do that. I'm not soaking these opals. They'll be fine, I think. And there's some, that's amber right there. All right, I'm going to set this aside. All right, we'll set this aside for a minute and see what happens with this. I'm going to move on to something else. Put that here. Maybe I can put something on top of it so it doesn't have to stink. Put that out of the way. And we'll check on this in a minute, but I am not going to keep staring at that. So I'm going to put this. All right, let's see what else is going on here. Put those there. They're done until I have to wash them. All right, so let's talk about this lucky dip that I have going on. So this one is one, it's almost like a bead soup. Push down on that. If you've missed out on this before, we did this maybe a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. Not very good with time, but I will say that if you haven't done this with us, we have done it in this way. I've marked it already. So this is a 25 gram or $25 at $5 a gram. It's 5 gram. And what we do is we fill it up, and that's what you'd get if you get $25 worth. I have different sizes. So this one is, let's see, 40. It's 8 grams, if you can see that. And we might not finish this up today because it's already at 37 minutes, but we'll see. I want to show some of the things. Now, I've already added to this one since I did this last because it was down to probably about half of this. And I found some more beads. This is a blend of opals, garnets. Let's see what else is in there. Looks like, take a glance at what's in there. And that is the type, these are the beads that I use to make my jewelry. So a lot of this, if you like the jewelry that I make, then this will probably appeal to you. So I'm going to just dump that in there. And here's one other thing. I found these. These are peridot crystals. They're drilled. Let's see if I can show that. I'm going to have to go in with this. They're drilled vertically. The hole runs through all the way through and not through the middle. Sometimes they'll drill it so that it runs horizontally through the crystal. These are beautifully done. Look how sparkly they are. I take out. When I made jewelry for this, or I still make jewelry for necklaces, I used to, I don't do this now as much, but I'll put the price of it down on the bottom so I can kind of remember what I paid for the beads. So I'll throw those in. So a lot of this is real small stuff. And, well, that's not a small one. That's a kind of a big one. It's a good opal, but nobody would be upset to get that juicy one in there. And that's what I use to make these types of necklaces. This is the main box. I have several boxes that I've used. I'm going to scoop this back in there. So I was using earlier. Let's take a look at it while I got you here. So this is That is that's an emerald. Oh, this is right here. This is orange kyanite. Let's see if you can see that. I have a big weakness for unusual and juicy gemstones, and that happens to be on my list of favorites. It's a little ruby. There's a sapphire. I'm a big fan of rubies and sapphires, emeralds. I love chrome dioxide. This is some prehnite right here. Look at that prehnite, how tasty sweet that one is. Juicy. Look at this one. Good times right there. Imperial kyanite. In fact, I got other imperial kyanite. Check out these guys. Where'd they go? Check out those juicy notes right there. Now, imperial kyanite is called that because when you look at it, if you look at it with a, let's see if I got that light over here. That might be too bright. Let's see. It shows some of the color. What do you think about that story? If you look closely, you'll see it has like a glittery fleck in the sunlight. You can really see them. But this is kind of a cool, unusual stone. I use these in my earrings all the time. They look like that now because it's kind of dark in here. But I need to up the. Is this light? Oh, I see why. My light died. So anyway, I'm gonna put those guys in there. I was like, why is this so dark over here? Like it figures. Those are going in, and on one of them, this is an earring component that I was working on. If you're wondering, some of the things you can do with this size. Now, this isn't for beginners. I would not say that if you're a beginner and you never made jewelry before, wait till we get some of the bigger stuff. This is more for those that have a little bit more technique and more skills under their belt. This is not for the new guys. If you're new, maybe give this one a wait, because you're dealing with wire that is like this. This is the wire that you use. Just had it right under my fingertips. Just had it. Let's see. It'll be one of those things, if it was a snake, it'd bit me because I had all this stuff spread out right in front of my eyes. Where's that? Fine. I wanted to call it, anyway. What I did with it. That's usually, oh, here it is. Yeah, if it were a snake, it'd bit me. So this is 28 gauge. Just to make sure I know what I'm talking about. This isn't even the right thing because it's not 24. This is 28, I'm sure of it. But it's a very thin wire. And this is good for doing, this is not load-bearing wire. And I mean load-bearing, I mean it like, you don't want it to be the thing that is holding your whole necklace together. This is load-bearing. So you have like 26 or 20, probably 24 gauge between there. So the bigger beads, the small stuff like this, don't be afraid to mix and match your wire sizes because you're not going to be able to get that 24 gauge through a tiny bead, but it's so worth it to be able to add that little bit of I call it the sugar, that little bit of sweet sparkle. So that's looking, you see, it looks pretty good. And all the beads that I used on this are in this. And it's my palette, it's what I use. All right, so that's what I was making azaleas. This is a little bit thicker. This is probably a 26. And for the finer stuff, I used the 28. You can also use microcord. Microcord is your friend. And that is usually a nylon, but you could use silk. I like to do this game right here. You can see, look at there's a ton of variety in this. Check it out, all that variety. And this is just from a scoop that I took out earlier to make that necklace. That's fun to do, as you can imagine. Some pink tourmaline in there. Got some Andalusite, it's one of my faves. Some really sweet, good quality. Look at that there's some good little opals. All right, I'm going to set that over here. All right, what do I have that I'm going to put in? Oh, I'm going to share some of this. This, let's see if you can see this. This is sapphire. Check this out. I found it in this crazy color. And what I was making some small earrings with this. I don't know if you can see. Let me get that light again. It's kind of a silvery greenish gray. And in certain light, it looks almost purple. It's almost like a color change. Let's see the whole thing. I don't know if you can see that, but they're a weird cut. They're almost like a Hishi cut. Let me see if I can do that. I can put that on there. Maybe I can do my light where it's a little bit closer. Scroll it out. I'll take out the one I was working on. Let's see. Spread them out. You can see what all's going on in there. And sometimes, you know what I've done with these type of beads? I've where is it? I'll put them where they're kind of like this. It has an interesting shape. I'll string them like this. Check out that stringing. I've put the wire so that it's almost like a pendant instead of a bead. See? And there's another space I do that. Where did I do that? Maybe I didn't do it on this one. I did on the other necklace. Okay, anyway, these are sapphires. Those are going in there. Check out that delicious business. It's going in. What else do I have in the suit today? You guys like this story? How about that? That is teeny opals. I have some even smaller, but these are really particularly juicy. Look at that. Gorgeous. And these are rounds. They're well drilled. Really pretty. We're going to throw those in the pile. And I have these opals. Stop. Let's see this. Isn't that good? These are a mixed size. Some of them might be a little bit big. There's some a few big things in there. Not crazy. I'll just spread them out into my hand so you can get a good look. So it's a mixed size. This is probably 3 strands in here of these opals. Kind of opal heavy in this. Oh, hello, Wendy. Hello, my friends. I love doing this part. This is my favorite part right here, is doing this. Just scooping. Get in there, you. All right, what else do we have here that's going in? I had these. I've been saving these up for my whole life. This is chrome dioxide in a very delightful color. Check that out. Let me get that light on it so you guys can see the beauty. Alexander's like, oh my God. So good. I know. In natural sunlight, it's dark in my living room or my dining room here. And so I'm using all the lights that I have. But it doesn't really show just how delicious these are. These are briolets. And briolets are they're like the best for earrings. This color is particularly good. But they look like black under this light, but it doesn't really do them justice, even a little bit. I'm trying to get it where you can see some of this, but I don't know. It's hard to get that, show some of that, how pretty that is. Oh, what else do I have here? Oh, these are good too. So this is something I've been hanging on to for a minute. These are little aquamarines, but they are beautifully, how those are. I know, aren't those delicious? This is the last of that. I don't have any more of those. So going in. Let's go into the pile. What else do I have? Ooh, these are really pretty. This is also sapphire, but check it out. You can't, I don't know if you can see it, but they're like a deep navy. Isn't that pretty? You can tell the sparkle on these these do, Wendy says teeny holes though. Okay, so a small bead is going to have a small hole because it doesn't have room. Although I will say, let me get my aquavisors and I'll see if this has a great big hole in it. And sometimes they do. These are pretty well drilled. Pretty well drilled. I don't know if I can get the camera to focus in that tight to show it. Let me see if I can get that light to come in here. There, that shows it a little bit better. Yeah, that's good. I need to organize some of this. Is getting a little out of hand over here. Put that over all these empties. I need to figure out what to do to get them out of the way. Okay, what else? Oh, this is one that is the necklace. Put that on the side here. Wendy says, is that all making soup for the scoop? Yes, we're working on it now. We might do it. It's already at the hour mark though, y'all. So what I might do is say we will revisit this. And what is that in there? It looks like, I don't know what that is. We'll toss that out. I told Azalea I didn't want any kind of, if I see anything that's like broken or anything, I pick them out. Or if it's like, you know, not a really good quality bead, then I pull it out. Scoop it like this. So I don't know if today will be the day to scoop because we're already at the almost hour mark. So this is like, we're getting ready. It's almost like a preview of what's to come. And I'm not even done yet. I have more to go. So we'll have that to look forward to. I meant to do that tonight. That was the plan. And I also have these to go. I had some of this I found in my collection, but we'll wait. I have three of these bees. So that'll be something to look forward to. They're hidden over here. Oh, forgot about this. This was one of the things I've been hogging on these by myself for a minute. Don't judge me. I couldn't help myself. I love this cut. Oh my God, I forgot. Thank you, Alexander. I forgot all that stuff over there. Now I got these from, I completely forgot. John and something from Australian Opal. You guys remember from Bead and Button Show? So these are the smallest opals I've ever seen. And I got these from, I think it's John and Candace. I can't think their name. If anybody remembers, go ahead and drop it in there. But they are from the Australian Opal Company that used to be set up during the Bead and Button Show. So I got this with the idea of making doll jewelry. But these are pretty well drilled. You can see. Let me get in there and see. It's pretty well. I mean, it's not microscopic, but these are probably some of the smallest opals I've ever seen. And so I'm going to, cut that. Boy, what'd they do? This is like what is this? Must be some kind of like a soft flex from. It looks like they have a pretty good size hole. And these are from the Australia Opal Company. Put that on there. That's the only thing is when you take stuff off the string, you're like, that's like one tiny bite. Get in there, y'all. So put those in. What else? This is a good thing here. This is Andalusite. But check out that cut. And check out. So Andalusite it's like brown, but then in certain sunlight, it goes a little bit greenish. It's kind of like watermelon, say, a little bit different colors that it turns. And then if you get blue light, sunlight, like UV, you can get some of that kind of bluishness that it's known for that you can get with the highlights. In here, I only have, what is this? What kind of light is this, would you say? It's LEDs, so it's not quite the same. But it shows more of a color change when you have like halogen. You can see it a little bit better. I've been saving these for a hot minute. You can see a little bit of that shimmer to them. I'm trying to wiggle them around so you can see the shimmer. These are really beautiful. I love them, and I've kept them for a really long time. But you know what? What doesn't happen is if they're on the strand and they're in my studio, they don't ever get used. But in this, they'll get used. So I'm going to put these guys. You can see they have that. They're really pretty. Put that in there. Make it extra delicious. Yeah, this is going to be a good one because I have a lot of my favorites in this. Not that I don't usually have a bunch of favorites. And these, you guys, I can't even hardly stand these. Check this out. You're not even going to believe it. Look at the size. These are pearls. And I've used these. You've seen these on my crochet necklaces a million times. I've been keeping these for ages. They're the smallest pearls, and they're actually really well drilled. I bought the hank, and so this is probably like 5 strands of that because it's. They're small. Look at them. They're very small. Perfect. Okay. I had some of these opals. You know how cute those are. They're really from part of a strand. I'll throw those in. They're really delightful. What else do I have over there? Let's see. Put those in. Oh, give me those pair of those. Those are some juicy nugs. A little bit of pink tourmaline here. Thank you. Put some of this pink tourmaline in there. So pretty and sparkly. We're going to put these in. This is a weird cut. It's called tablet cut. I don't know if you've ever seen tablet cut, but check out that color. Aren't those gorgeous? So pretty. Shit. Oops, sorry. They kind of flicked. One in there. Get out in there. I'll put that in. Some of these might be a little bit big. We'll talk about it. Gumnut Lane says, I have some of those. They're called seed pearls. Yes, they're the smallest of seed pearls, though, the very smallest. And they look really magical. I don't know if you can see. Just check this out for a second and look at them closely in there. How close can I get, I wonder? That is a pretty juicy looking dip, y'all. We won't be dipping today, unfortunately. Today is because we're at the 57-minute mark, and I usually like to have a little bit of time. We'll mix this in. What else? I had some other things that I wanted to share. Oh, there's some black opal. I might put more because we're coming towards the end of the day. I might save those for what's today? What's today? Wednesday. Might have this ready for Sunday because it's there's a few more things that I've been sitting on that I want to go gather up. But so far, this is looking really delightful. Like there's already so many kinds of beads in here. What I need to do is I'll figure out if anybody has a good idea for how to make a nice chart of what's in there. Maybe what I can do is reserve some of them. So I have to start beforehand, but I'm not sure how to do that. To think about how the best way to do it. You can see all that goodness. That's that tab cut. I think it's really a really pretty cut. Unusual. Oh, I see folks like it. I'll scoop this up. I have some pearls, Pat. I keep meaning to do it, but I have pearls in this range right here. If you like this type right here in strands like this. They're called rice pearls, and I have a few strands of those. The ones that are in here, these little cornflake pearls. Whoa. Oh. And sometimes I'll add, like, if I have small amounts of something. I bought these for Azalea. She wanted these really pretty uh, peridot. They're perfectly cut, little micro-faceted peridot. Put those in.
Yeah, I like those.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I closed the lid, and then I found some of these. So this is one that I'm extremely in love with. This is called. So this is tourmaline. All right. And I don't know if you can see this. I feel like
It looks like sapphire.
Huh?
It looks so much like sapphire.
It does look like sapphire, but if you can see, the thing that makes this one kind of exciting is that it's dual colored. Oh no, I don't want that one. What light do I want? That's not the light that I want. I don't know if you can see this, but they're half and half. So the strands on each one, there's a little bit of pink and there's a little bit of blue. So this is indicolite with pink tourmaline, which is so amazing. You never see this. At least I haven't. And they're probably one of the rarer stones that I have, that dual colored. If you can just see, I don't know, I wish the light was better in here that you could see how just delightful those are, because the color is pink on one side and blue on the other. Yeah, Mary, you are 100% correct. Mary says, hello, ladies. Those pearls are so sweet. I have looked for some teeny pearls to buy, and they are so expensive. The reason they are so expensive is because they are a giant pain to drill. And that is the reason. You're talking about the labor, and you're talking about they can't, if they're going to be that small, they have to be pretty good quality. You can't have like really cruddy beads or really cruddy pearls. They have to be nice because you have to ask a lot for them, because it's not a cheap date. It's just how it goes. Let me see. I have some other things over here that I wanted to share. I have some of these. Check this out. This is going to knock your socks off if you like briolettes. Check this out. Sapphires. Again, these are blue and green. I know. Look how sweet those are. If you could see those in real life, your eyes would be bugging right now because they're so good.
They're so tiny too.
They're tiny, but they have a lot of bang for your buck. You know what? You don't need a lot. Look how I use it. Like there are some of those right here. That's it. Right there is exactly what I just showed you. Is that? And look how many I have on there. This is actually tourmaline there. But I'll sprinkle them through, and I've had some of these beads in these containers for years. That's how long they last, because what I'm doing with them is I'm adding them in between things and using them not as filler, but as my decorative accents. So really, you don't need that many to make a necklace. Look at how many are on there. Okay, what else did I have? I had some other sweet, sweet things I wanted to share. But what I might do, and I have these I want to show. So this I'll put in, I think I'll wait because I have some black opal. Check these guys out. So that's going in. What I think I'll do though, because I'm at the hour mark, is I have probably another 10, it looks like 10 different types, and I'm already at the limit. So I will show you some of this real quick. I have these to go in. I have some white topaz. Check these out. Maybe I'll just dump them in now. But I hate to rush. I want to talk about the stones. So look at this. These are heavy. When I poured them in my hand, I don't know if you can see that.
These are heavenly.
Oh, I know. They have a ton of sparkle. But that's white topaz. And so they are nice and sparkly bright. It's not quartz. Quartz doesn't have quite that hard sparkle. It's a little more soft. This is the type of material that quartz. And you can see it has a nice sparkle on them, but it is nothing to these. These are micro-faceted. They're really delicious. So I'm going to put those, actually I'll just dump some of those in there right now. And get out there. I was trying not to get it where I have the sticker that's in there that I put. Not filler, just Schiller. Thank you, Wendy. That was a good one. I might use that again. Get that juicy goodness. Yeah, so if everything in here, I would venture to say, is good times. Wouldn't you, little daughter?
Yeah, you filled it up again.
I did fill it up, and I'm not even done filling it. I have some more stuff I found in the studio that there's a sticker in there. I want to throw it in. Where's the sticker? I thought I saw it. Oh no, that's just a little bit of Tunduru gem gravel. We'll just throw that in there. Usually I'm a real dragon for that kind of stuff. I like to keep it. This is, let's see. Don't bother that pretty cat, Azalea. Let's see, that did not live or sulfur the way I'd expected. Did I rinse that?
No.
No, I didn't. And you know how I found out? I did the sniff test, y'all.
Ooh.
And it was just as unpleasant as you can imagine. All right, I'm gonna wrap this up, friends. Because you know what? How about we dip on Sunday so everybody has a chance? Because I recall when we did the dipping before, there were folks saying, "Hey, I didn't know you guys were doing that," and I want to wait till I have a pretty good, till it's kind of fair, let everybody know. So how about we do that on Sunday? I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna gather some more beads. If there's any requests of something you'd like to see, I might have it in my collection, especially if it's in the small department. So this is the Lucky Dip small collection, and I'm trying to do it where they're under 5 millimeters. Like this is kind of the biggest thing, and those are emeralds. So I don't think anybody's gonna complain about getting an emerald in there. As far as big stuff goes, like the biggest things in here are good things to get. It's not like, oh, here's a big quartz bead. Not that there's anything wrong with quartz, but you know what I mean. If you want some of the bigger ticket type items, and there's a lot in this one. And you know what I like to do? I take one with me. I have a bunch of these. Take them with me when I'm traveling. I have a bunch of them in my studio. Little tins, and then all I need is some wire, and then I can work on my necklaces wherever. Usually it's earrings though, because that's one of my money makers is my earrings. And you don't need a lot of beads. So even a scoop at this much, at how I have it. So on Sunday, get ready because I'll have these. And even 25 grams. Check out we'll just do a sample dip right now, just to get you wanting it. That's a better way to say that, Azalea, instead of saying it the way I just did, because that was less good.
Looking forward to it. I don't know.
We're all looking forward to that, including myself, because some of the stuff I forget that I have if it's just stored. All right, at the $25, I hate to use the dirty tin. I'll just spread it on this thing. There we go. We'll spread it out. So I made these earring component before. So this is in $25 now. I'm gonna spread it out so that was just a dip without even really stirring it good. Okay, so look at that. I feel like that's a good time right there. And if you think about it, if you're a jewelry maker, you make jewelry, that's easily wholesale. Because if you think about it, how many earrings could you get out of that? Like I made those. That was in one of the things. Check them out. That was easy. That's just on a head pin. You could do it randomly, and probably if you did this technique, you could probably get 10 pairs of earrings like this easily. And so that's another one right there. I color coordinated that one. Or you could do some chain like this, like that. That's an earring I made there. I don't know what happened to the other one. So when you add that mixed chain and put like 1, 2, 3, 4 beads out of it, you can see a little goes a long way. Oh, and I was going to put these in there. I forgot about that. So those might be a little on the big side, but this is black opal. Real pretty, real nice. So that's going to be in there that I'm going to throw in. A lot of desirable, delicious beads. And then I wanted to show this just briefly because look at this. That's crazy. This is actually more expensive than a natural opal, and this is a lab created opal. I just wanted to share that. It's one in my collection for a minute. I haven't done anything with it. I just bought it. It's perfect. And you know what I wanted to do? You guys remember that movie Legend? What's that gal's name? What's that gal's name? Mia something. Mia Sarah. She's got that thing, that black pearl in her necklace. It's like a floating necklace. That's what I was going to do with that. All right, let's flip this. Let's get this. I'm going to go up for a minute. Wendy said, I had a dream of frogs last night. Sounds cool. Love that story. Oh, Shannon likes those frogs. So do I. So do I. I'm going to get this out of my way. And then I'm going to change the camera over. It's real high tech around here, y'all. What's that sleepy cat doing? Oh, I'll give him his treat. He's been waiting so patiently. A very patient cat. All right.
He knows what's going on.
You see him waking up?
Park dried up.
Did he? I didn't. I wasn't. He was like, all right, it's time. I've earned. He's like, I've earned my treat. Marty, do you want this?
He looks sleepy.
Honey? It's a weak head ball. Let's see if he'll stand on his hind legs. We'll do it. What kind of animal is that, Azalea?
A small bear.
He is like a little bear, but look at those. He luckily does not use full claw to the size of that paw. Let me hold your paw, my son.
Him holding it like that, both sides. So cute.
He's got to make sure he's got all of it. But notice those, he's keeping me in place. His claws are going. You got it all, honey. He is a good patient cat. All right, my friends. Thank you all for joining us on our Wednesday edition of Magic Hour. We will be here again on Sunday. And we'll have this lucky dip. I'm going to have some more strands that I'm going to add to. And then prepare yourself, because then we'll be doing the fun of dipping live on just all that hair. You guys, you know what I do with my time is I sweep. Just spit on me a little bit. He's like, now I'm ready to just relax. All right. Thank you so much. So, Cecilia says, this was fun. Love you both. Thank you. Shannon says, adorable boy. He is an adorable boy. He's my son. He's my sun and moon and starlit sky. All right. So don't forget, Sunday, we'll be doing the lucky dip for real. We're going to be dipping it. It's going to be the time. So, and I don't know when. So this version of the dip, it's always going to be a little bit different. In this one, I have a lot of favorites that you kind of, you know how sometimes it kind of hurts you to use it a little bit of pain. That means it's good. When it hurts me to put it in there, I'm like, my greed kind of is saying, Cynthia, don't you want to keep that all for your own little self? Yes, I do. That is without doubt. I always want to keep it all, but I'll share with you all. Partly because I'm going to get my floor fixed. That's the driving motivator for that. It's the big motivator. So, if you don't know, Greg was going to do me a solid and remove the broken tiles from our kitchen floor. And the broken tiles were in front of the dishwasher. And when he popped those up, surprise, it was all rotten underneath. So it's not as bad as we thought. It didn't go rot through to the subflooring. But that wood, it was like mud. So all of it had to come out. So that part, we removed it. But now we are waiting on a contractor. So in the meantime, while we're waiting, and if you're wondering, why is she waiting? Well, Helene struck last year. That's right, last year. And it is every contractor in town. Wouldn't you say, Alexander?
Oh, every single one.
Every single one in town is busy. So still a year later. And they were like, yeah, you're going to wait. I don't care who you are. You're going to wait. So while I'm waiting, I am putting money aside to get that fixed up, because it's not going to be a cheap date, unfortunately. I'm going to have to have all new cabinets, which is fine because I want new cabinets anyway. So it's not it's a nice thing to do. All right, my friends, I'm going to wrap it up, and I will see you Sunday. So join us this Sunday. All right, friends, we'll talk soon. Okay, good night.